Okay, welcome to another pre-modern video here. Today, I really wanted to play around with this card, Betrayal. Has to go on an opponent's creature, 1 blue. Whenever it becomes tapped, you draw a card. So, obviously, when they attack or tap it for mana, you draw a card, which is pretty great for a 1 mana value. And if you can keep tapping down your opponent's creatures every turn, then you get to draw a card every turn, which seems pretty good. So that's kind of what I wanted to try here. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. In its current iteration here, I did play a league, and I will include a couple of the matches in the video, but the deck didn't seem ready. It's very much a work in progress, and what I'm going to do here is kind of talk about this deck, the idea for it, then go over kind of what I saw were the flaws and problems with this build in the league that I played, and then go over kind of how I think I would take it going forward. So it's basically, we're going to start with the deck and the idea here. It's basically using a lot of the wizards which tap in order to turn on Betrayal. And when I was doing a search here, the key one that came up was the Stormscape Apprentice. It's only costs 1 mana, and then for 1 white, you can tap a creature. So in theory, you play Stormscape Apprentice on turn 1, your opponent plays like a Birds of Paradise or a Goblin Lackey or something on their turn, then you play Betrayal on it, and then on their turn, maybe in their upkeep, depending on what the creature is, probably in their upkeep, you tap it down, draw a card, and you can just keep doing that every turn. So you just turn Betrayal into this nice draw engine, and you got all these tap creatures. All these tap creatures are also really good against Phyrexian Dreadnought. And that's part of the other plan in this deck, is I think it's, how it is constructed here with all the tappers. We'll go through them in a minute. I think are set up pretty well against a Dreadnought deck. Now, we did actually play against a Dreadnought deck, and it wasn't as easy as I thought it would be, but I do think we are structurally in a reasonable place in that matchup. But there were some issues I think I'll talk about in a little bit in this next section I've got here. So we're just going to go through the wizards quickly, because some of them you might know, some of them you might not. So we've got Betrayal, of course, and that can get turned on by Stormscape Apprentice to tap creatures. We've got Aphetto Grifter, which you tap 2 untapped wizards you control, and you can tap that creature or any permanent. You can tap lands or anything as well. You can play this and right away tap it and another wizard. So that's pretty good. Doesn't need to untap first. We've also got Thalakos Dreamsower. It's unblockable, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you can tap one of their creatures and doesn't untap as long as you keep Thalakos tapped. But you can, of course, on your turn just untap it, and that's fine. Redo the whole thing again. So those are the key ways of us tapping down our opponent's creatures. And it's quite a lot of them. It's 4, 8, 11. We've also got some other cool wizards and some synergies in here. One of them is Oracle en-Vec. So this is a cool one with the tapper. So if you tap the Oracle and your opponent selects a creature to attack, then you go to their turn, you tap it down. They selected it to attack, but since it's tapped, it can't attack, and Oracle will kill it. Yeah. So pretty cool. It's really nice with the tappers here. So make sure opponents have some tough decisions on what they want to choose to attack with. And if your opponent just decides to attack with no creatures, they choose none, then they can't attack with them. It says during that player's next turn, the chosen creatures attack if able, and other creatures can't attack. So you know which ones are going to attack already. So that's a pretty sweet little synergy there. Got some other just generally good wizards. Meddling Mage is a great wizard, obviously. I don't think this one needs explanation. And then we're also playing Voidmage Prodigy, another pretty cool one. We got all these wizards here. We can just start flinging them if we don't need them to counter some key spells, which is pretty good. We got one information dealer. I wasn't sure about this one, but I wanted to try it as kind of like a tech piece. You can look at the top of your library and rearrange it. You go pretty deep if you got a few wizards in play. We got one Rayne Academy Chancellor. Nice little protection here against removal. And then two Ghosthelm Couriers. These can be used to pump and protect our wizards, give them Shroud, which is pretty good. And then two Nameless Ones, just kind of like a bigger finisher. I felt like the deck was a little bit anemic on actually winning the game, so I wanted kind of some sort of a closer. I'm not sure if this is it as the game's played out, but it is an option. And we got some other tech pieces in here. We're in white, so we got 4 swords to plowshares. Of course, wanted to play one mom. It's not a wizard, but I think the first one has pretty high upside and helps with the curve here. 2 Seal of Cleansing for obviously the various broken artifacts and enchantments in Premodern. Those are all wizards. And then 2 Worships. This is probably the most controversial card in the deck. You get 2 Worships, main deck, and sideboard. I wanted some sort of a plan against some sort of the burn decks that have inevitability against us. I feel like Worship was an interesting one to try. And we've got a lot of ways of protecting. We've got Voidmage Prodigy, Counterspell off the sideboard. Even if our opponent brings in like Out of Goblins Naturalize, or say they bring in I don't know, Anarchy. I thought Anarchy played against me before. We can hopefully deal with those. So that was kind of the idea there. 2 more Disenchants to go with the seals. 3 Fact of Fiction, which I thought was an interesting card to try and grind against some of the other grindier decks. Because our decks has Betrayal as a nice engine, but I think Fact of Fiction can be useful as well. 4 Counterspells, 2 Tormod's Crypts, and then the other 2 Voidmage Prodigies. So that's the idea with the deck. We want to control the board. They're pretty good at tapping down and stopping like some individual creatures, like a big Phyrexian Dreadnought, a big Terravore. I think those are areas where we can do pretty well. Oh, mana base quickly. We got the white producing lands, a bunch of islands, of plains. I got 1 swamp in here. We don't really want a swamp, but if you do have one, we can use this ability. So decided to do that one, and then there's 2 wastelands down here to fill out the deck. So I think just getting into the issues now. Even against a deck like Phyrexian Dreadnought, we don't have a ton of card advantage. I didn't put Gush in this deck. I think that because we don't have that many islands. So I was thinking that Gush might not work exactly, but I think we do need some sort of a card advantage engine in the deck besides Betrayal. I think that came up. We also had some issues with goblins. Goblin Pile Driver was an issue. We can only swords it. We can't block it. So you can get huge and swing pretty easily. Or block it with Mother of Runes. That's the only other thing we could do. Which is an issue. You know, like we had a game against them where we had Worship out and still managed to lose. So that was interesting. We played against blue a Meditate control, and we just didn't have enough permission to stop them before we could win. We were able to slow them down, but our caulk was just too slow. We lost to a Welder survival deck. Triskelion beat us up pretty bad. And then we lost to Memories of Time, another great YouTuber out there. I love their stuff. But they played a Pernicious Deed and Pyroclasm kind of control deck, and it just destroyed all of our creatures. So sweepers felt pretty rough. The go wide decks and the engine decks felt more powerful than us when they got going. And we aren't playing some of the best cards like Gush. So all of that kind of came together, and I think made this deck, at least in its current form, not really viable. But I'll still include a couple of matches here. I mean, there were some fun games we had for sure. It wasn't a complete disaster as far as the gameplay goes, but there are some pretty big weaknesses. In its current form, I don't recommend the deck. What I was originally planning on doing before I found Stormscape Apprentice, I think would be a stronger way of doing it. Now, there's Whip Quarter, and there's two other versions of this card that don't cost white. They cost 1 and a white. And then there's a third one that you don't have to pay any mana to tap down a creature, but whenever a creature comes into play, it untaps, and if there's no creature in play, it doesn't. That kind of thing. So I think maybe trying soldiers was sort of my original idea. I think going back to a soldiers or a rebel plan, soldiers or rebels could be a stronger way of trying to build this sort of deck instead of wizards. So while Stormscape Apprentice is very cool, I think the wizard synergies, at least from what I've figured out here, or what I've seen, just not quite strong enough. Now, if you've got a cool wizards deck, let me know. Let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to take a look at it. This was my first time playing wizards. It might just be that I did not figure out exactly how to construct this. That's possible. I was thinking maybe like from the next version of this, because I do want to try Betrayal again. I think Betrayal is a really cool card. And it's got some weaknesses. The other weakness I didn't mention, but against a deck like the Meditate one that has no creatures, it just doesn't do anything, which is a problem. But I think there are enough creature decks in the format that it's worth giving a go. But I think maybe like mostly white, either rebels or soldiers would be an interesting one. Opposition's another card in the format, so we don't even need the creatures. You could potentially play like a more controlling style deck, with just some betrayals, another option I was considering. But we'll see. If you got ideas yourself, let me know down below. But yeah, with all that out of the way, I'm gonna put, I think, probably 2 matches from the league if you want to take a look and see for yourself how they went. Probably, I think the Dreadnought, the Blue Dreadnought matchup and the Goblins matchup, I think, are the most interactive ones. I think just structurally against the Meditate Storm deck, the Triskelion Welder deck, and the Pernicious Deed Pyroclasm deck, we were just structurally unfavored there. So I think those were always going to be tough matchups for this kind of a deck. But I think the Goblins and the Dreadnought, which I thought would be a little bit better, we're still very tough. So we're gonna take a look at those two. Yeah. All right. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, all that jazz if you want, and I'll see you next time. Okay, here we go. We'll keep it. Island. Portent. Okay. You get a card. Play our mom. Mm-hmm. Um. All right. Got another counterspell? They do. Impulse. So this is Dreadnought, right? I assume this is Dreadnought. Foil. Peak. Okay. They know about this one, so let's play this one. Information Dealer. I should have kept open the swords, but oh well. They got 5 cards in hand. They should be able to do something. Phyrexian Dreadnought. Yep. Stifle. Yep. I assume they got a foil for this. Misdirection. That's pretty good. We're in trouble then. We got a couple outs, but we got to draw into them. We draw swords, we can fire it off right away. Oh, that's not nothing. Maybe we play this one first. Let's try and bait it. Let's try and bait this. If they drew Counterspell or Foil, and they save it, then we die. Leave the planes up in case this draws us swords. We die to so many cards here. They should counter that. Ah, crap. Foil. Fair enough. Thought we were going to get lucky there. All right. We have to draw swords here. Nope. That's frustrating. We were fine if they didn't have a counterspell right there. We were just going to start tapping it down, drawing cards with our Aphetto Grifter. Disenchant. Fine. What's bad? The oracles aren't great. Betrayal's pretty medium. By medium, I mean pretty bad. Take those out. Grifter's pretty good. We have a lot of cards that are good in the matchup. We just didn't find them. Let's try that. Did we play that one badly? I feel like we could have won that. That's not good enough. Yep. Keep. You got it. Phyrexian Dreadnought. I think that's the right call. You would name something else, let me know. That's bad. That is a no bueno. We need a land here pretty badly. Blue. What is this? Did I bring my Cryptson? No. Yeah, I should have brought my Cryptson. Well, sure. We got our Voidmage Prodigy. Blue. Okay. Dreadnought. Essence Flare. Okay. That'll kill it. Another one. Blue. Gush. You're probably playing Gushes in here. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, we should have Gushes in this deck. Sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should have waited so I could have the Voidmage Prodigy backup. Yeah, I should have waited. Fair enough. I should have waited. I got bailed out. All right. Let's try this. Yep. We play the swords out. Let's see if this gets a counterspell. Phyrexian Dreadnought. Blue Essence player. Okay. Let's get the Apprentice down. Get some attacks going in. Let's try and counterspell that. Alright, we'll try and swords it. Vision charm. Okay. That's not good. Um, I think we have to just wait here. Do we try and swords it? I think we try and swords it before they draw more counter magic. No, I think we wait. It's bad. Ooh, that's not good. Now we have to draw a white sorcerer, we die. Ah. Well, we got another stifle we lose, I guess. Let's do it now. Stifle and we die. Let's see if they fight over this guy. They do want to fight over this guy. Gosh. They got 2 islands in hand, and we don't know what else, right? Two islands, 3 unknowns. They've already used 2 stifles, right? I think we let it go. Stifle does still kill us. But they got more counter spells than stifles. They got a foil. Okay. I think we have to try and sort this in response. And they got it. Oh, they got something? That's frustrating. They're dead. We got outplayed. Yeah. Guess I should have waited. Tough. I guess. Should have just been patient. But they could have found a stifle. I don't know. Probably just dead anyway. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Keep that. See what they got for us. Mountain. Goblin Lackey. That's bad. Swords, please? Swords? Swords would be great. Betrayal. And I feel betrayed here. We're about to get destroyed, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Goblin Tinkerer. Goblin Pile Driver. Those all seem pretty good against us. What are we scared of here? We can't stop Gem Palm Incinerator. Mog Fanatic, maybe? Mog Fanatic's pretty good against all of our little guys. I think we just block the lackey anyway. Skirk Prospector. And let's get this guy down. Thalakos Dreamsower. Let's get rid of the Skirk Prospector. I think we got to start dealing damage here. We'll tap down the protection from blue. Okay. Forgot about that. Forgot about that. That is a problem. Yeah, it's really good against us. That is really good against us. Yeah, we need a swords. We can't deal with that. Okay. Um. Not sure why those messages pop up. Crap. Try and turn it off. Ah, sorry. We could tap down the mountain next turn, potentially. We still need a swords here. That's our goal. Goblin War Chief. Okay. That's bad. Four, five, six, seven, 8. We can swing back for 9, which is very frustrating. Right. No, 4. Wait. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then Grifter will be 9. That is not enough. So we have to jump block. And they have haste too. That's so bad for us. Yeah, we were 1 damage short, unfortunately. I think we're just dead now. Because we can't block the pile driver. That's frustrating. Maybe, I guess we just have to, jeez. I guess we can keep the War Chief tapped down. We just can't block the pile driver. He's gone. It's impossible as long as they have a creature in hand. If they have a creature they can attack with, we lose. So we're just going to do this. And then in their turn, we will tap down the Tinkerer. But if they have any creature, we die, which is basically guaranteed. We needed the swords. And we didn't find one. Ooh, interesting. Wait, no! I didn't untap my creature. Oh! I'm so dumb. That was terrible. We can't even do anything now. It's painful. We need another wizard. Then we can tap down 2 creatures. I guess we play this out for fun. If we swing, they just jump it. We just have to pass. Jeez. Our next card has to be swords. And they should be at 4. That was stupid. Any creature kills us, except for Mog Fanatic. Yeah, Goblin Ringleader sure kills us. Oh boy, yeah. Okay, we can go to game 2. Yeah, the protection from blue was tough. Protection from blue was tough. Bring in the worships. Can take out the Seal of Cleansings. I think the Void Mages are not amazing. Alright, let's try that. It was pretty close, though. It was closer than I thought it was going to be. It's not amazing, but I think it's a key. Yep. Goblin pile driver. Sure. Mm-hmm. That's a weird hand. Maybe I should have played the mage. I can't hit Gem Palm. A Mog Fanatic would do a number on us. I should hit Mog Fanatic or just Pile Driver 2. Ringleader. War Chief, yeah. Sure. Queens. Let's do Goblin Ringleader. We can ping them with this guy, so we don't actually have to swing with it. City of Brass, short. Matron. Sharpshooter. Ooh. Probably should have named Sharpshooter. That's really good against us. Fair enough. Alright, let's see what they got for us here. Goblin Lackey. That's bad. We're in trouble. I don't think there's any possible way we win now, so. Yeah, that's not going to do it with the Siege Gang in play. Yeah, but the Siege Gang's just going to mow our board down, so it doesn't even matter. Alright, we're going to call it there. Good game. Okay, so just to reiterate in case you skipped through the intro there, I didn't show a full league here. The deck, in its current form, isn't how I would suggest playing the deck. I just include, I think, 2 of the more interesting matches. But in the intro, I go through all the card choices. I talk about why I don't think the deck quite worked. What I'm thinking about trying in the future, still with Betrayal, which I think is a pretty sweet card and an interesting one. Just I don't think it works quite in this shell. And I talk about a bit about how I think I could see myself trying the deck in the future. Again, even though the deck I don't think really works in this current form and I can't recommend it, I still had a couple of good matches there, so I included 2 matches, one against Dreadnought, one against Goblins. You can watch it if you want. And then again, the other thing is, after you watch the intro, if you got any other ideas for how to build around and break Betrayal, I'm all ears. It's a very cool card. We got to do some cool stuff with it in this league. But Wizards I don't think is where we're at. Or at least not this build. Maybe somebody else will crack it. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.